Hey everyone. So I'm just making this hoping that this is rock bottom because I don't know how much further I can go and still cope with it. We're in a heat wave here in Connecticut. It's gonna rain today, which will help, I hope. We just have so much going on and I'm so anxious. I'm experiencing panic attacks again during the day, and then I'll kind of be okay towards the night, but I wake up to panic. Sometimes I go to bed with a little bit of it, but it's usually mostly during the day. Just having a really hard time. I've got OCD pretty bad, and it's hard to function like that. Try to sort it out, and I think what's making it hard too is trying to come off of the ssri paxil as well as clonazepam, even though I'm on a very, very low dose. The prescriber prescribed it 2.5 milligram tablets, but I didn't take that. I never did because I knew, it's not a good idea. It's very hard to come off of. It's not something that you should be taking every day. At the time, though, I was an absolute mess, and I was so desperate for something to help. So I took it. I only took the 0.5, and I worked down from the 0.5 to less than 0.25. So I'm only taking about a quarter of the tablet, less than that, and about an eighth of what was originally prescribed. Just goes to show you they don't really care what they're prescribing, or they don't know. I mean, I like my prescriber. She's an APRN. She's very nice. And she seems to understand, or she at least tries to, but, I don't think she knows exactly what happens when people come off of these things. And I think that's what's also making it hard for me to deal with all this. I've gained a ton of weight. My sleep is messed up. I have these horrible vivid dreams. They're just ridiculous. Sometimes they're terrifying. And other times they're not that bad, but it's still disturbing because they shouldn't be that vivid. It's just weird. Anyway, we're in such a bad situation right now. I don't even want to be at my apartment. I've been having a hard time holding a job because of these panic attacks. I was working as a CNA, and I was calling out on shifts often, despite all these things I've tried to help. I've been to therapy. I tried the medication, which I was adamantly against, but I tried it. Didn't work. Now I have to deal with the repercussions of coming off of it. It's awful. And because I was calling out, I didn't think it was fair to do that to the clients. I like them a lot, and it's not fair to take up that shift when there's a good chance I'm going to call out, which I was doing towards the end. So I ended up telling my boss and explaining what was happening, and she didn't even acknowledge everything I said about the panic attacks. I just told her it's extremely hard to work like that, and she just didn't address that part of what I said. She just said, we're just going to take you off the schedule. So I accepted that because that was the right thing to do for those people, to get somebody who wouldn't be calling out on them. But anyway, it's very hard. It's hard for a lot of people right now with the price of everything going up, rents going up. Our landlord is just awful. I mean, during the whole pandemic, when nobody was paying rent, we still paid. We knew it was the wrong thing to not pay, but I also knew if I didn't pay, there was nothing he could do. We still paid, though, and he had the audacity to up the rent during that time, which we paid too. We paid the increase. So now, fast forward to this time, he's upped it again 2 times since then, so 3 times in the last couple years, and it's just extremely hard to keep up with, especially now dealing with what I'm dealing with. My son is working, and I feel so guilty and so awful that he's doing something that I can't do right now, or I think I can't do. I'm trying to figure that out, but it's hard. I'm outside right now trying to get fresh air. I don't even want to be at that place. Don't ever take an apartment where the landlord is on the premises every day. Like, it's part of a business, so he's there every day. And I have a ton of anxiety. I just keep thinking he's gonna come knock on the door, which he could. Every time we seem to, like, make progress, we get knocked back, like, 20... I don't know. I'm trying to fix everything. It sometimes feels impossible. There's been so many issues going on there. And despite doing the right things, like calling the right people, we didn't get any help. You know, like we called the health department. They actually didn't even show up for a couple scheduled times they were supposed to be there. They just didn't even come. And they allowed this guy to just cover up the problems, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just extremely hard to cope with all this, even though I'm trying, you know. My hair's growing back, which is good. I don't know, it's just very frustrating. I'm trying to get all this out of my head so I can try to, like, actually do some things today to change the trajectory of what's going on, you know? Like, I don't want problems with the landlord. I just want to get out of there. We've been looking at apartments. Everything is extremely expensive, and it's like, I think landlords should take into consideration if the person paid during the pandemic, because I don't want to pay for other people not paying, you know? Like, some of these people want, like, upwards of $5,000 to get into an apartment. There's no way I can save that and continue to pay this landlord, you know? And if I don't pay him, I gotta deal with him being outside, and it's just intimidating, and I'm always in, like, a state of fight or flight there. I don't know, this is just very hard to deal with. I'm just gonna try the best I can. I'm not gonna say that I don't have anyone to help me, because my sister tries to help me, but, like, I can't rely on her. My dad tries too, but he, like, went and moved to Florida, so that's hard too, because I didn't want him to go that far away, but hopefully I can turn this around. I mean, I'm not gonna give up. I'll update in a few. Thank you.